Hey, everybody, it's Trags alongside Jimmy Murphy following a Game 3 4-1 Bruins loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Bolts now lead this best-of-7 Eastern Conference semifinal series 2-1. Murph, I think it was pretty obvious to everyone in the building, watching on television, the coaching staff of the Bruins, they didn't have the jump at all tonight.
No, you know what? I don't think there was much of a jump in the stands and much of a jump in the ice. And, I'm not blaming the fans. The Bruins didn't give them much to cheer for, but as Bruce Cassidy put it afterwards when I asked, did you think they were a bit fatigued? Because they did play a 7-game series. Yep. Maybe that momentum's finally worn off. He said, no, not at all. I think our problem was we were slow and stubborn, and he's exactly right.
In what ways, though? How does that, show on the ice?
I think it shows on the ice that they're not applying what Cassidy and the staff are probably saying to them on the bench and what maybe they said in the intermissions. You got to go out here and do this better. You got to do that. They weren't adapting, and that's been one of the strong points of the Bruins throughout this season is that no matter what, win or lose, they've done a great job of staying in a game and adapting to the play on the ice. They didn't do that, and after that goal, Patrice Bergeron made it 2-1, and then Anthony Cirelli answered 2:31 later. Right away, he took the wind out of their sails, and that was it. I mean, it looked like they didn't have anything after that, and they weren't trying to fix their game at all. They just kept throwing the puck on net, and they just couldn't get things going.
Andre Palat had the game's first 2 goals for Tampa Bay. As a matter of fact, he had it in the span of about 90 seconds within the game's first 3 minutes and 19 seconds.
That line's killing him.
And I got to tell you something, Murph. Torrey Krug did not have it tonight.
No, you know what? Look, I'm a big Torrey Krug fan. I love the way he's become a better two-way defenseman this season, but he was the complete opposite of that tonight. I mean, he didn't have it offensively.
And he wasn't alone.
So I guess he was two-way. He stunk. He wasn't in good offensively, and he wasn't good defensively. He wasn't alone, but, man, he was coughing up the puck a lot in front of the net. It was almost like it was a hot potato on his stick. And, people are going to blame Tuukka Rask. Maybe you could add one. I think that's about it. Other than that, I think it was more Krug and the rest of the defense just really fumbling the puck a lot in front.
What really stuck out to me on that Cirelli goal, the third goal, the backbreaker, according to Bruce Cassidy when he spoke after the game, Krug was over in the corner while the puck was in front of the net, and you're not going to be doing much back.
Like that.
Not much back checking happening in the corner.
No, and you know what happened there? He had lost that battle over there against the boards, and it was almost like he gave up on it. And he said, "I'm going to let somebody else pick this fight now." And he did. He didn't come back, and he sort of watched what happened there. And you can't do that, let alone a regular. You can't do that in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I was surprised. Like I said, he's improved his play a lot, but this was not one of his nights.
Okay, you want a positive? The Bruins tonight were 5 for 5 on the power play, on the penalty kill.
Oh, and the penalty kill. Yeah, I was going to say, on the penalty kill. Yeah, they're 5 for 5. I guess that's a positive, but Tampa Bay didn't need the power play, right. And unlike the Bruins who seem to be whining all night and looking for excuses and looking for the ref to get a call their way, Tampa Bay wasn't focused on that. They were focused on just playing their game, and Cassidy said that was our problem. We weren't playing our game. In the last 2 games, the Lightning have played their game, and we haven't played our game, is what Cassidy said, and he's exactly right.
I did not keep Brad Marchand from pretty much ripping into the officials after the game.
There, huh?
And what he said was, I'd like to see some consistency. And what he was talking about is Marchand took a slash on Stralman in the second period, I believe it was, giving Tampa Bay one of their actually 4 power plays. The fifth and final power play was an empty net goal. But those 4 power plays, one of them came on a Marchand slash, very similar to the slash that wasn't called when Marchand was slashed toward the end of game 2.
You know what? He's got a little point there, but I'd like to see some consistency in Marchand not taking dumb penalties and not whining so much after game. What was it, after game 1, or he was whining about the ice? Now he's whining about calls. Let the fans do the whining. Marchand's going to pick up his game, and right now, I think that's been the biggest X factor in this series, is that Tampa Bay is collectively cooking dinner at Brad Marchand's kitchen. They have him wrapped right now around their finger, and he can't do anything right now without being distracted about a call or a hit or something. Like, he needs to just focus right now.
What led to that?
You know what? I mean, this is the old Marchand, right? And we saw the superstar Marchand for so much this season, but this is the Marchand that used to let people get under his skin and then he'd unload and he'd pull a stupid play. That hip check, people are going to say, was that a dirt? No.
Girardi.
Yeah, I actually thought that was great. I wish there was more of it in hockey. I think it's a clean hit. He has been suspended twice for that. I'll be interested to see what happens with the player safety department. But You know, right now I think Brad Marchand needs to focus on one thing, and that's Brad Marchand. Not the refs, not the Lightning. Brad Marchand needs to focus on himself, and the Bruins in turn will succeed.
All right, the Bruins drop game number 3 here at TD Garden. Game 4 will be here in the Garden again on Friday night before the series shifts back to Tampa Bay on Sunday afternoon.
And let's hope that crowd's rocking. It's a Friday night, end of the work week. The weather's going to be nice. Let's hope the crowd's a little more into it from the get-go.
Well, the Bruins will need it because the Bruins, I think, Murph, it is safe to say they're in
do or die.
desperation mode. They've got to have Game 4 here on Friday night. We'll have you covered, of course, on clnsmedia.com and follow us on Twitter at Bruins CLNS. This has been the Garden Report. The final again, the Bruins drop it to the Tampa Bay Lightning by a score of 4-1. He's Jimmy Murphy. I'm Mike Petraglia, CLNS Media.